Okay, I think this is good. All right. All right, Vicky, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, Amber asked us to show up. She didn't ask us to show up cute, so I took the liberty to not show up cute. So I'm excited. I know that you had about just as much time to prepare as I had to ask you. And so Amber was just like, I need you to help me. And gosh, y'all, this is layered leadership in its finest. We show up for each other. If I can be a hot mess and do this, you can too. You don't have to have it all together. You clearly don't have to be organized to make this work. So anyway, so this is Payday Tuesday, and we always love to do an interview with someone that's been in the trenches, someone that's leading, someone that, has experience adversity, because I think that many of us are going to open up that paycheck. We're going to be grateful. Some of us are going to open up that paycheck and really be like, okay, I need to go to that next level, or I have some bigger goals. And so we really want to give them some strategies, some tips, things that they can do and put into place that really help them to grow their business. But I want you to introduce yourself, tell everybody where you are. Now, are you guys flooding or are y'all good? Y'all's weather? What are y'all?
So my name is Vicky Colback. I'm from Ontario, Canada, and we are actually beautiful over here today. We have lots of sunshine. It's
Good.
absolutely gorgeous. So the flooding that happened last week is drying up, so which is amazing.
When I was thinking about you, I said, I didn't even message you to ask, like, are you rowing on a boat? I just was like, hey, can you do this Zoom with me? I mean, and it stopped me because I think that a lot of times we have to remember that with people that we reach out to. A lot of times we reach out, we offer our Thrive experience or a business, and we didn't even take the chance to read about what's going on in their life. I thought, oh gosh, I said, oh gosh, I hope she'll forgive me. But but it's just a learning thing. You're always learning. You're always in a state of learning. So I got to thinking about it, and I got to look, and I thought I saw some better posts, and like, oh gosh, because we reach out, we get excited, and then we don't realize that someone's world's falling apart, and we've got this agenda that we want to hit a bonus or something, and then they're like, rude. So all right, so give us a little bit of your story. Tell us how you got started. I love the part how you've been actually watching, I think, before I even knew there was a Thrive. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so way back in 2014, someone, I still don't even really know who it was, messaged me randomly and said, hey, can I have your email address? I want to send you some information on a product. And I was naive. I was new to Facebook, really, and I sent her my email, and that was it. There was no more communication. I didn't know how to log in. I didn't know how to do anything. She just signed me up under a customer account, but I didn't even know. But because of that, I started seeing things on Facebook. I started seeing about about the capsules, the lifestyle mix, the DFTs, stuff like that. And I was intrigued because in Canada, we didn't have that sort of stuff, right? Network marketing was very new to me anyways. And so I just started seeing it, but I didn't realize that my husband had been seeing it. You'll see if you look at my Facebook account, Vicky and Eric Colback, because he was watching my Facebook. So one day in 2017, there was a note on the computer or on my laptop, and it said, check out Amy Janelle's Facebook page. If you order it, you better order me it too. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And there it was. There was a picture of Amy, and she had a DFT on. It wasn't this one. It was just like one of the original ones. And I'm like, whoa, no way. How did Amy Janelle get this product, right? So I messaged her, and the only way I knew Amy was Eric and her husband were on the same volunteer fire department. I never met Amy. I didn't really know Amy. We just somehow were friends on Facebook, right? I think because of that. And I messaged her, and I'm like, are you thriving? And she messaged me back. She's like, how do you know about Thrive? And I'm like, dude, I've been watching this for, 3 years. Like, what is it? Like, I want the sticker. I said, I want the sticker. I said, it looks fun. Right. And she's like, it's more than just a sticker. And I'm like, well, let's talk. Like, I want it. And I said, and if I get it, I have to get some for my husband. So I ended up going to her house, and I signed up, and I signed up as a promoter right off the hop, because I'm like, I want all the information. I want to know what this is all about. I want to share this. If it works, I want to share it with the world. Right. I knew it was changing lives, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what was changing. I just was seeing stuff, but I wanted to feel it myself. So I basically begged her. I signed my husband up, and I begged her for product. I'm like, Amy, please, once I get my product, I will give it all back to you, but I need it. So my husband started with the women's capsules. I didn't tell him that it was women's capsules because he didn't need to know. It wasn't there's nothing in it that's going to hurt him. So anyways, we both started on our Thrive experience on a sample package, but we had both ordered, right? So we both ordered, and he was my first customer. And then day one. So little backstory. I was like such a coffee drinker. Like, that was my liquid of choice. I needed coffee to get through my days. But every afternoon, you would find my husband and myself having a little nap before the kids came home from school every single day. I crashed. Coffee, right? You think coffee is going to be like something that's going to give you energy all day. No. So day one, I did the capsules, like Amy said, before I got out of bed. I had them beside my bed with a glass of water, took my capsules, went to the bathroom. I made my shake. I let it sit for the 20 minutes because that's what I wanted to do. Wanted it to bloom. I wanted it to kind of get thicker or whatever. I was experimenting. And so 20 minutes after my capsules, I drank my shake, but I had made a coffee. I'm not going to lie. I made a coffee thinking, I'm going to need this coffee. Like, there's no way I can't have a coffee, right? So, drank my shake, and then I put my patch on. I had my coffee. I did my day, but I found my coffee. Like, about noontime, I was in the kitchen, and I found the coffee that I made at like 7:30 in the morning, sitting there as cold as could be. And I'm like, wow, I didn't drink my coffee. By that time, I would have had probably about 5 or 6 coffees. So that was my first little, wow, is this a fluke? Is it a fluke? That day, I just remember planning dinner, and I didn't need a nap. So it's very small in most people's world to have that happen. But to me, that was like, I don't know, that was the game changer. Like, that was the one where I was like, wow, if this is really what I'm feeling, I can't wait for this, So Eric and I both agreed, we're not going to, like I said to him, I don't want to know what your Thrive experience is, because I don't want it to influence me. I don't want you to say, oh yeah, I did this and I did this. And I say, oh, me too. Right. So I kept a note, at the end of the day. I would kind of write down, what did I feel? Like, did I notice anything? Was I feeling groggy? Was I feeling crappy? What was I feeling? And it was like day one, no coffee, made dinner, felt great. No nap, right? Day one. Day three, no coffee, got work done, wasn't scatterbrained. Like, I wasn't like squirrel. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. I got stuff accomplished, right? Day 10 was when our package came, right? But because we live in Canada, it took a little longer. But day 10 was when I was at the gym, and I was the oldest person working out at the gym, and I crushed the workout. I felt so good. And the owner, our trainer, came out and said, Vicky, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, Was I saying bad words? Like, like I didn't know why he wanted to talk to me, centered me out. So after class, I went to his office and he says, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What did I say?" And he's like, "No." He says, "Girl, you just destroyed that class." He says, "You were lifting heavier than anyone. You were running and you didn't run out of breath like you normally do. You were like on fire." And I'm like, I'm thriving. And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I got to show you some." So I went to the car and I had a pamphlet that came in my package. And I said, "Just tell me this is all in my head." I said, "The way I feel today and the last, 10 days," said, "I can't explain it. I haven't felt this good since I was 20, 30, and I was 47 at that time. Right. And I'm like, I feel so incredible. Like I couldn't explain it any more than it changed my life. Right. So anyways, he looked at it and then the next day he's like, "Vicky, how do I order this? Like, I've never seen anything like this." And I'm like, "Well, let's go." Right. And I'm telling you, this product has changed me. So I've been thriving for 6.5 years now. So I'm 53, 3.5, if you want to be technical. But I feel amazing every single day. Um, I have such good mood support. So I went to Chas's in Texas on a Thursday, came home a Sunday. I was home for 4 days. And then I went to Newfoundland in Canada for a week. Then I came home, I was supposed to have major jet lag, and I didn't. I got up, did laundry, got things ready, got my hair done, got my nails done. And then the next day I had a wedding for our goddaughter. It has been go, 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 go. And I'm telling you, without this product, I would not feel this way ever, especially after traveling back to back and then having a wedding and then just being, go, go, go.
And
It's
then
just,
Chas,
it's
and then
incredible.
Chas messaging you and throwing this on your plate unexpectedly. How many of you, like, this is your ideal person? Someone messaging you and saying, "I need this product. I need it now. And not only am I going to order it, I want to sign up to promote it." Like, drop in the comments if that's like your ideal. One of the things that I've been doing is kind of challenging people to go through, what is your ideal day? And so for me, I'm going to write down ideal day. Vicky comes to me and decides she wants to order product and she wants to sign her husband up. And that's like an ideal day, right? Like someone coming to you and saying, "I'm ready to do this." But let's backtrack just a little bit. What she said was she was receiving information from Lavelle because somebody put her into the system. So she knew something was happening. She was getting that drip from Lavelle. And how many of us know that, whether we are emotional purchasers or purchase out of need, whatever, if we're completely disciplined, that those times where we get that email, that advertisement, something comes up in our newsfeed, we're like, now's the time. Now's the time for change. And everybody's going to be different. That time for change is going to hit different for every single person, depending on what they're going through, depending on, where they are financially. If they just, had to go to an event, they didn't like what they saw in the mirror, or they're just like, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." So, there's so much that she just shared in the last few minutes that we have to remember that somebody's on the other end of watching us. Who would have thought that her husband would have been the one to say, "You got to get this stuff and you got to get it now." That's an ideal situation, because a lot of time the men are skeptic. We are women and we have a lot more, we operate higher emotions, and we get to the point where they're like, "I want to do this and that." And we jump on every bandwagon. But I love that she said, she had that support, she had that confidence. And some of us may not have that. Maybe you don't have somebody supporting you in your home. And so you're doing this business, or you're doing, taking the product, and they're like, "Oh, is that placebo?" Or, nothing can deny. And I love that even 6.5 years later, Vicky, I can hear the passion in your voice. When you were sharing, when you were in Texas, you were sharing about, your experience, and I could still hear that passion and excitement. And I think that's so important. I was visiting with Lydia before the Zoom, and we were talking about people have lost hope. And, I used to say, Amber gave me 3 days of hope. And, we think of that on a grand scheme, hope to be able to be debt free, hope to be able to work from home, hope to be able to push stronger weights or heavier weights. But how about we give people hope for just a better day than they had yesterday, or hope for, being able to not stress because the gas tank prices are through the roof. We are in a society, I feel like, the people are going back into that scare mode and that fear mode. And, you guys, Vicky, y'all experience such a, shutdown and isolation from the world, a lot more than we even experience here. I mean, I know in Texas and the US, but, you still kept growing, you still kept sharing. I love that as a corporation, as a team, as organizations, we'd already been doing Zooms. We had already been putting things into place so that when we couldn't, be with each other, one-on-one, we were able to pivot and we could still be with each other virtually. So we have so many ways to tap into, someone said the other day, I don't like to be, say, I want to tap into somebody's where they're vulnerable or where they're weak. But let's be honest, this is that industry. We have to tap in to their vulnerabilities. But the cool part is that we have a solution to help them and give them a little bit of hope in a culture, in a world that is doom and gloom and, all the things. So I know that you have been a part. You and I have gotten to hang out on a couple of different events. Don't judge me when we had the night together. We had so much fun. But I think it was Bible study, right? But anyway, we had a good time. But talk a little bit about, yes, this business and this product, it's been great, but what has it meant for you, the community, and just being surrounded? And let's be honest, there's people that have come in, there's people that have transitioned into a new season, and our hearts bleed for those because we miss them. But what, you've just came to Texas, you spent some time with us, I think it was a Palooza. What is that culture and community meant for you?
Okay, so yeah, let's go back a few years when, life changed, right? When you're alone, it's very sad. It's a very sad world, but I never was alone. I never was alone because there was always a Zoom I could join, or there was, some kind of people talking to each other. So you're never alone. So being able to join something like this when we weren't allowed to be around anybody else was like so impactful. And the one thing with Thrive, with this company, with this opportunity, is we are like-minded people. I have yet to go to like Thrive Palooza or a lifestyle getaway or an event and people are negative. Everybody just seems to be feeling good. They've got a good attitude. It's just when you surround yourself with people that have passion, love, when they are just, I don't know, in a good mood, it just fills your cup. And that's what this whole company has done. There's never, like, I've reached out to Twin, I've reached out to, to many people, Krista. I've met out to reach out to tons of people on here. We've only briefly met, but if I had a question or if they've done something and I'm like, whoa, how'd you do that? They will let me know. And they don't gain anything by letting me know their knowledge. But that's what this community does. We all are side sisters. We all want everybody to succeed. And that is so rare. So that's what I love. I absolutely love it.
Well, and I think that one of the things that I realized, being someone that, and this isn't a medical claim, it's just something that's part of my story, my truth. I struggled with seasonal depression for so many years before I was introduced to Thrive. And that's still a journey that I walk through, and I'm just proactive with my health. I'm proactive with my mental health. And but the thing is that what I realized is before Thrive, before the community, for the product, for the opportunities, the options, that one bad day would turn into a bad week, to a bad month, to a bad year, and subsequently that would just snowball effect. Here we have the opportunity to go, okay, what's different? What am I not doing? Maybe I need to change which DFT I'm using. Maybe I do need to use men's capsules because I'm being a little bit hangry or manly and in my male energy or whatever. Maybe I do need to switch something up. And it's an ability to recognize that, hey, I'm just going in the wrong, my intent does not, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the direction I'm going to head. I can intend to have a good day. I can intend to have a good month, but unless my actions and what I'm doing align with that intent, I'm going to miss the mark. But the cool part is I can miss the mark for a day, or I can, a lot of times if we are not showing up, be careful what you ask for. I had mentioned to Amber on Sunday, and we didn't really get to visit, but I said, I need to chat with you about some things that, I'm feeling like Chastity needs to show up in a different way. And very quickly yesterday, I got asked to be on a Zoom. Today, Zoom, it's like, be careful what you ask for, but it's so true. We have to know what we need, so we know what to ask for. And in this community, it's a place where, when you as a leader can say, hey, look at this. I'm just not good. I am struggling. I'm not feeling, like the leader I used to be. We're going to have people that, I call it a hype squad, but it's not just hype. It is letting you know that they've probably walked through something. They've probably been in that place. They've probably been in that space as a leader. And they're saying, like, you can do this. You can overcome this. And so I want to talk a little bit about, because in the last couple events, business-wise and some other communities that I have the privilege and honor to speak into, we talked about doing hard things. And a lot of times people will say, this business is hard, leadership is hard, it's difficult and it's complicated and it takes consistency and it takes discipline. But a lot of us have gone through some hard things, like things that we would look at and go, her heart is so, like, I don't even ever want to experience her heart. But I want to remove the permission. You do not have permission to compare your heart. Your heart, whether that is just my kids can't remember their lunch every day, or you're walking through grief, your heart is your heart. So if it's hard for you to reach out to people, to grow the business, if it's hard for you to post on social media, I've been sharing, and it's something I'm working through. I used to do videos, Vicky, all the time and inspire people. And they would say, oh, Chas, I love this. It's literally a mental block that I have. And I know that when my world turned upside down, I was going live. It was part of my therapy. But right now it's like, I do great like this. I do great on Zooms. I do great on coaching calls, but I don't want to put myself out there to the world of the people that don't know me. And whatever it is that's holding me back, it's something that I have to work through. So we can do hard things, and it's a lot easier to do hard things when we're together. But tell us a little bit about, I challenged you a little bit when y'all were here in Texas, and kind of what that experience was to you. And maybe if you want to share something that you've experienced in your business or life that's been hard, and how have you risen up as the warrior that you are?
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't done my Zoom yet because I just got home. So I will. You gave me a few weeks, so I have it all set up. But see, that's been my biggest struggle is my head, right? I let my self-doubt get in my head, and then I procrastinate. And that is my challenge for myself to get over that. So I always think, oh, I'm going to do a live. I'm going to go live today. And then I'm like, oh, I can't, my hair, my hair's greasy, or it's not nice, or, I'm not dressed up or whatever. And so then I don't do it. Right. And it's like, I think about it all night the next, and I take notes, and I'm like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, and then I don't do it, So what I do, if I'm going to do it, I just do it. And I get so many views when when my hair is in a bun or whatever. I get so many views. And then that's when I get the most feedback, right? Because you're you. And that's what people want is you to be you. So we have to get out of our heads and think, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. It's just like when people start a diet and they're like, oh, I'm going to wait till Monday because I'm going to have the weekend. Start today. Like, if you want to start, just start, like make a change today. So we get into our heads and we second guess and we procrastinate and we think, nope, not today, maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes the next day and the next day. That's my biggest hurdle is.
Yeah, but let's celebrate the wins. I gave everybody bracelets and it says, make yourself proud today. Can we celebrate that today you are on this Zoom? You weren't prepared. You didn't have a script. I didn't even really tell you, but you're on this leadership Zoom showing up because I knew that you had put it out there that you wanted to be on lives and Zooms and you wanted to do them more. But if you hadn't verbalized, if you hadn't said what you wanted, I would have never heard that. So not saying I wouldn't have thought of you, but you put it out there and you knew what you wanted. And so when an opportunity came, your feet were already in action. You were already ready. And that's the thing I think that we miss in this business. We say we want the team. We say we want the customers. We say we want the business, but we're not moving our feet so that when somebody comes along, we just keep walking in step. We're like freaking out. Oh my gosh, how am I going to leave? What am I going to do now? No, you just start doing it and you start moving. A lot of times I feel like, we're asking God and we're praying for God to give us all these things. He's like, hey, I got you and I got it right here. I'm just waiting for you to move your feet. You to move your feet. So win-win today, made yourself proud. Talk about, I challenged y'all. We did the ice plunge when you guys were here, right? Did we do that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talk about that a little bit and getting uncomfortable physically.
Yeah. I told my husband and he was like, you did what? Because I am like the one that has the hottest bath, the whole, everything's hot, right? I like hot. I am not a cold loving person and I live in Canada and I don't love it. But wow, I want one of those. Like that totally took me to the most uncomfortable but yet amazing place in my head, because it just made me realize that I can do anything I want. So normally I would go like my feet and then like slowly go down, I basically stepped in and then I sunk. And I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going right in. I'm not going to let my head stop me and say, it's too cold. It's too cold. Because no, it wasn't. It was the perfect temperature. It didn't hurt me. It just cleared my mind. And I was so proud that I did it. It's such a small feat, but in my head, it was such a huge accomplishment. And it was so amazing, Chas. Like that was so epic. That was such a cool experience.
I think so many times we look at, we hear the books. We have so many books. I can give you book after book where it says, it teaches us, it's the 5-minute rule or 5-second rule, whatever. I think it's Mel Robbins. And, it's like that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Well, I'm sorry, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I do that a lot of times. And I'm like -100, -99, because I already went through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm still laying here in the bed. I didn't jump my feet out of the bed because guess what? I am not getting uncomfortable. I know it's a place of like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. But if nobody's laying there, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, snooze, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, snooze again. And so with that, it changes your entire psychological. Girl, I am the same way. I want the warm, bubbly bath. Give me Netflix, give me a good book. Like I want all the things warm and fuzzy and cozy and all the things. But that changes everything about your physical state. If you've ever watched like Tony Robbins or any of the influencers, they're like, change your state in the middle of trauma, in the middle of something unexpected. You got to change your state. And that's, a cute idea, but how do we really change our state? What do we do that brings us into a totally different mindset, a totally different physiology? And so that was just one thing that I challenged you guys. But before that, we talked about some things that we've done that are hard in life. And for me, when I go under that water, I'm like, okay, I've done some hard things, and this girl is still standing. I can take my butt under this water and go. And it's not about going slowly. And I know, hey, just be careful. No, it's about facing it and doing it and taking action right now. Because when adversity hits, when someone is, running for a bonus or something is happening, I don't have time to sit back and process and think. I have to have a plan. I have to have a strategy, whether it's something simple as, my kids, I know my kids, and mine are grown. So, but my kids did this a lot. They forgot their cleats. They forgot their gym bag. They forgot their lunch. Well, I was working a corporate job. I couldn't all the time take off work to go get all the things for my kids, but who wants their kid to be without lunch? I learned very early on as a single mama that I better have a backup. I better have a friend local in the community that, hey, I know you work from home. Is there any way that if my kids forget something, you could go get it for them? And then I'll carry your kids in the evening to school, or to practice, or I'll help in a different way. I had a plan. I had a strategy. And sometimes life just happens and there's no plan for it. But if we look at it in two perspectives, it either is something we have to handle that's comfortable or something that we have to handle that's uncomfortable. So either way, we should be able to pause and go, is this comfortable or uncomfortable? Okay, this is comfortable. I know how to do this. I'm gonna walk up in my feels. And this is uncomfortable. Oh, I need to breathe. I need to process, and I need to focus forward. So you guys are getting to the end of the month. We're looking at just a few more days, and maybe you're getting in your cloud and you're comfortable and you're like, hey, I'm going to rock along. Well, let me tell you that this business is this constant state of growing. There's a constant state of turnover with people giving up on their goals, on their dreams. So we're constantly bringing new people back in. We're constantly bringing new people in to the experience. So we've got to keep it simple so that we know how to ebb and flow as those processes happen. We can't look at it as, we're just running for a promo, or we're running for month end. We've got to roll all of this in to our Thrive life. It is our Thrive experience. And we have to get to the point where, I get so many phone calls from people that I haven't heard from in months, Vicky, that the reason they're calling is because their auto bonus is on the line and they need one more order. And I'm like, you should have been able to tell farther down behind than the 29th of the month that we were falling short. And now you're expecting me to jump through fiery hoops to run this promo or whatever. And I love to do that, but I need our energies. I need our efforts to match. I need you to be excited and on fire all month long. And whatever that looks like for you, maybe you're like, Chas, I have one day a week. I have one night a month that I can, whatever it is you can do. You can work the business all the times. Sometimes you can work it, every once in a while, but that is going to be a reflection. What you sow is what you're going to reap. If you are working sometimes, you're going to reap some great benefits sometimes. If you're working it consistently, you're going to see those consistent efforts be returned, and what you're sowing is what you're reaping. So let's talk a little bit about maybe something that you do every month or maybe every week with customers or promoters. Just give us a couple little tips that we can put into play as we work our business.
Okay, so what I have been doing lately, and it has been coming back, like getting good response, is every day I do post something about Thrive in my stories, right? So Capsules Lifestyle Mix DFT, or what it does, and I kind of make it pretty. Sometimes I regenerate if I have to, if I'm running out of time or whatever, from holidays. But that has been a very consistent, and that is what you need to do with this business. You have to be consistent. So you consistently need to share what Thrive has done for you. I actually have a girl that is going to be ordering tomorrow, maybe tonight, if I get home on time, or tomorrow. And her account was from 2017. So never has ordered, never tried a trial pack. And, we're friends, I see her and whatnot. We really haven't talked about it, but something resonated with her in the last couple of weeks. And she said to me, I think it's time for me to feel like you feel. And I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, you always, you feel good and you share, you're doing things and you're having a good time and you're just so positive. And I'm like, it's because I feel great. And she's like, I need that. And I'm like, well, then let's get you thriving. And I said, the one thing that you're going to say to me is, why didn't I start this sooner? But I said, it's okay, because now is your time to thrive. And so when you don't think that anybody is watching you, that's when they're watching you, because people are afraid to try something and really like it. They are like, they're afraid because then they're wrong, you're right. And so you just have to believe that what you are doing is impacting somebody's life, and it will. Don't give up. If you don't hear from somebody, or you don't hear from somebody that you're expecting to hear from, it's okay, because they're still watching. They just need a bit of more time to understand how it's going to actually improve themselves before they take the leap, but it will happen. So don't give up. There's a lot of times where if people say, no, I'm not interested. Okay, no problem. Like, it's all good. Like, I never want to pressure anybody. I don't cold market. I don't reach out to people. I let them come to me. If they want to talk about it, hey, I'm your girl, but I don't want to pressure anybody, right? Because they have to be ready. It's not going to work if they're not ready. Just like if you want to quit smoking and you're not ready to quit smoking, you're not going to quit smoking. You have to be ready mentally, physically, and emotionally to do it. And then you will change your life. So just consistency.
And I think it's, and I am a leader that I will share. I want to lead from where my truth is. And so I was waiting for my daughter to get out of an appointment. And so I was sitting, and instead of getting on Facebook, I saw that Katie Sue was doing a working Zoom. And so I just plugged it in. And of course, I'm checking messages and doing all the things, because I hadn't really had a chance to get still. And, she was just going through the birthdays, and she's going through all the things. And I'm thinking, these are those things that are effective. Sending someone, I don't do just a happy birthday and a little emoji. I like voice them like happy birthday, whatever. And so just hearing those simple things, it's just like, oh my gosh. And so I got in my memories, and I love to look at my memories. Amber and I were visiting the other day, or yesterday, it all runs together. And I said, what are some things that we're not doing that we did in the beginning? And she said, if we look at our memories, it shows us that we were traveling, we were gathering, we were doing Thrive After Fives, we were doing locals, we were all over the place. You and I were like conquering, like divide and conquer. And that's not what's happening right now. And so we really had that gut check. We always, as leaders, want to look in the mirror and go, what are we doing? And that, they're not, or how are they having success or whatever. And, I look at, I look at, Twin and Jackie and all them, that they're gathering, they're getting together, they're having an event, they had an incredible event in Vegas. I mean, it's just like, they're staying consistent. We are like, we want to be together. Well, we cried for those things. And then now that we can, we're not together, we are in the comfort of behind our screens. And so I was looking through, as Katie was stimulating, me to be working and doing the simple, consistent things that we've talked about for 10 years. And I went through and I'm looking at my memories, and I'm looking at, where were we? And I'm looking at people with, they had achieved 40K and 80K and all these things. And I look at them, I'm like, they're not even thriving anymore. And I love to like and comment on things like that to kind of help them. If they block me and delete me, that's fine. But I want to remind them of, what did this mean to you? I had those conversations with people that are like, Chas, this flexibility in my finances, or, the ability to be able to, physically have, good consecutive days emotionally. And like, I remember those conversations. And so I want to remind them, remember remember when, we hear like the good old days, remember the good old days when you were thriving and you were seeing that success, you were seeing, yeah, it gets hard. And yes, life knocks us down. Absolutely. All of us, we could all write a book. Every one of us has a book inside of us. And so I look at it and I go through, and there was one that I don't know why I don't see any of her stuff. I mean, I don't know what the tack is for social media, but there's people I don't even see their stuff. And I didn't even honestly know we were still connected. But she's walked just recently through some of the journey that I walked through, a year and a half ago. And so I looked at that and I thought, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know, even though our pain might be different, it's very familiar. And so I reached out to her to just say, like, praying for you. I just wanted to encourage her. It had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Thrive or a motive. But what happened was last night I needed extra gummies to sleep. And so I posted a picture about gummies. And I've talked about how when you're going through, unexpected things in life, your sleep has a tendency to go wacko. And so because I had a post about sleep matters and sleep counts, that became a conversation of not sleeping well. And the intent was very innocent. The intent was very much reaching out to say, if I can be of any help or be of a listening ear. Yes, there was a vulnerable situation where that she needed something, but that wasn't how I'm functioning. I'm not functioning with an intent. Can I sell you? Can I just want to share. I just want to share where I am today. And maybe I've done all the things, and by noon I've got my workout and all things. I mean, like today by noon, I ain't even gotten a shower. So, I think we have to realize that, one, I say this all the time, gratitude changes everything into a great place, because we can always look around and see people with less or someone that's going through harder than us. But with this opportunity, we have the opportunity to be surrounded by incredible people that, not saying we don't have bad days, weeks, months, we all have those, but we have a community that is saying, let's find a solution. Let's find the solution to what we're walking through. So, Vicky, give us, give us maybe something you do every day for you, maybe something that's non-negotiable, something that you have to, you're like, hey, I have to do this, or my day is not going to be a good day. Something that an inside scoop to Vicky.
Okay,
Victorino.
so my big inside scoop would be, like you said, gratitude. Like, it is so important to be grateful. Like, grateful that you're seeing the sunrise. Like, before Thrive, I never seen a sunrise. My children, 99% of the time, got on the bus while I was still in bed. Like, not a proud moment. I could not get out of bed. Now I see a sunrise every single day because I sleep well and I'm up and I'm at it. And I usually take a picture of the sunrise, because to me, that was such a significant thing that I missed. So before I get out of bed, normally I will just kind of be grateful that I had a great sleep, grateful that I have my husband beside me, grateful that my kids are healthy and well. And I just start my day with gratitude, right? It doesn't have to be written down. I do write it down sometimes, but mostly it's just for me, right? It's just a check. And then before I go to bed, I always think of 5 things that happened that day that I am grateful for. And sometimes it's just, I talked to a friend that I haven't talked to for a long time, or I talked to my mom, or grateful that, we actually had dinner tonight and we sit at the kitchen table. That's what we do all the time. We sit at the kitchen table and we'll have dinner. And I am so grateful for that. I'm grateful that my kids will come and we all join and talk, right? So that's what, I'm grateful for that. Or it is so important to just know that there is good things happening. Even if it's a bad day, something good has happened, and you have to bring that into your heart, your mind, so that the next day it continues. Because like you said, if you focus on the negative things are going to happen. if you focus on something positive, it's going to be better. Something will be better, right? Yeah, that's what I do. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I found a product that changed my life. I'm grateful that I can help others feel better. I'm grateful that I'm able to travel now. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my friends. Like, there's so much to be grateful for.
I love that. And it creates an awareness. It creates an awareness within us of, that, we are blessed. And, a lot of people, I tell them, like, you're having a bad day. You're having a bad month in your business. You're not a bad leader. You don't have a bad business. You don't have a bad product. You're having a bad season right now. And let's figure out, is this season due to circumstances beyond your control? Are there some things that are within your control? And I always say that when we are living in an attitude, in a state of gratitude, that we then give back. And, for so many, I would think by now that most people, I can't remember, Vicky, if you said y'all's have already gone back to school, but kids are going back to school. This is a chance. I know a lot of you guys, when I talked about that, get prepared. Many of you guys are going to, you're going to go into a cold season, and it's going to be where snow is up to the doors and you can't get out. All the things. And so there are things that are happening. I am sure you've gotten packages from your kids. I've even got kids going to college, things like that, I want to be a part of something in the community that can put me out there so that when we do have to, you guys, hopefully we won't get another snowmageddon, because we don't even know how to do with 2 snowflakes, much less 2 feet of snow. But, get involved right now as your kids are starting back to school. As your kids are getting back to school, maybe you can join a workout group. Maybe you can join something where you are back in the face of people. Yes, I know the power of social media. Many of us have built mega businesses like that, but there is so much more with the connection. And I can tell you that I've gotten to know Vicky a little bit better on a different level, but when she was here in my space, in my home, we went to that whole nother level. We went to a whole deeper conversation, and it's because it's that one-on-one, it's that connection. And there's somebody in your community right now that is praying for a change. They're praying for today to be better than yesterday. They're praying, as they hear about, gas is going up and eggs are expensive. They're thinking how it's not frivolous. They're not trying to figure out how to buy more shoes. They're just trying to figure out how to feed their family. You can give them that opportunity of hope. And I think that when we give people a glimpse, hope is something that we have to believe. We have to believe that something's out there that we tangibly can't see. We have to believe that there's something better. But when you can show them, look, hey, you can have a good morning. Hey, you can have, a little bit of extra, wiggle room in those finances. You can have a little more energy throughout your day to be a little more productive. That's giving them the reality and that glimpse into the hope that we have. And I feel that it is our obligation. It is our obligation. It is our duty to go out there and share. I feel like my foundation of faith was a gift that my grandmother gave to me as a little girl. And so I feel like that's now my obligation. When people say, Chas, how do you overcome? Like, how are you walking through this? It's like, because of my faith and the foundation that I had before the trials of life started just knocking me right and left. So with my business, I want to build it so strong, so right, and so tight that when anything comes to shake up the foundation, it may shake, but it's not going to crumble. So right now we're getting ready to have an opportunity to experience gratitude. And that is, when you open your cloud, are you grateful for the fact that you're thriving for free? Are you grateful for that extra $100? Are you grateful for the extra $10,000? Because that's the reality. Many people are on the exceedingly and abundantly. But let's take that time to also say, what have I planted this month that I'm expecting to reap a harvest for? So make sure that what we're planting is what we're expecting the harvest on. And Vicky, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for putting out there that you wanted to do more lives and that you wanted to show up, because I just threw you right on in there. And if you guys are watching and you feel like your story is impactful or there's something that you're doing new, I just want to challenge you. Reach out to Amber. Let her know, like, hey, I'd love to be on one of these Zooms, because we're always looking for people. We want to bring people into your space that you can grow from, you can learn from, whether you're brand new or you're an OG. We want you to benefit. We know that time is our most valuable commodity and possession. And so I don't want to waste your time. So I hope that you will take something that we shared today, put it into play, put it into action, because if you go out and you take this time for an hour of your day and you listen and you just listened and then you do no action, there was no return on that investment of your time. And that time is so valuable. Some of you took away from your kids. Some of you are using your lunch break. So go and get the greatest return on the investment of your time. Any closing thoughts, Vicky, that you have?
Just remember to share, share the samples, get Thrive in people's hands, because that's the way they're going to understand what it is like. What are the capsules like? What are the shake mixes taste like? What does the DFT look like to wear? Get it in their hands, and that is what is going to build your business. Like, that is so important.
I love it. I am right now, I've got my planner and all my community pages. I'm looking right now because we have a lot of fall events. This is the time where people start doing 5Ks and runs and fall festivals and things like that. And it's so critical that if you have those types of things that, you can set up a table very, very cheaply. You can set up, and, those mamas might not be going down to the biggest event, in the Metroplex, but they'll come to a local community event, and perhaps somebody's going to walk by your booth with that stroller thinking, man, I just need a change. And there you are, standing there with a 3-day mini, with a smile on your face and with a kind word that they maybe haven't heard in a while. So what you have is deserving of sharing. And so your challenge is to get out there and share. And again, I'm so grateful for y'all. Thank you for investing your time, and go out there, lead in love like your life depends on it, because it does. And thank you, Vicky, for joining me today. Love, Vicaroni or wait, what is Courtney's?
Courtney.
Yeah. What does she call you? Vic, I don't even remember.
Vicaroni. It's like macaroni, but Vicaroni.
Yeah, Vicaroni. So we started out, we were like Chazaroni, Quarteroni. Yeah, like it didn't all go, but Vicaroni was rocking it. So thanks, Vicky. Have a great day, and happy end of month. Finish strong, guys.